I'm happy to be here virtually, and it was wonderful meeting so far. So this is our institute that we call Translational Health Science and Technology Institute. So I'll be talking about our G-Cardoplex aptamer work that we have developed against the spike trimeric protein of SARS-CoV-2. So I'll first give a brief overview about our lab. So our lab is aptamer technology and diagnostic lab. So we are working on the TB diagnostic, and we are working on TB from almost 7 8 years. And then more recently we have started working on snake bite, and then we are also trying to develop method to improve the selects. And more recently we have developed gold nanoparticle based selects method that we call gold selects. And in this presentation I'll be talking about the SARS-CoV-2, although we are working on other viruses also, like respiratory syncytial virus and little bit on the aptamorphous therapeutic. So I will not take much time to explain this pandemic, because Dr. Setupati has already explain about the SARS-CoV-2 and its antigen. So I'll briefly touch upon that. SARS-CoV-2 has the spike protein which is on the surface, and this protein helps the virus to invade the host cell. So basically, if you see that currently there are three different diagnostic strategies, and what, just a minute, I'll use the pointer. Yeah. So there are three different strategy. One is the detection of genetic material, and other is the detection of intact virus using the antigen detection test, or the detection of antigen, and third is the detection of antibodies. So we thought, can we develop aptamer against spike protein? And this work we have started during the lockdown, when we were facing lockdown in the India. So we have spent almost 15 16 hours per day in our laboratory. So this is how we started developing aptamers, and these two guys in my team, Ankit and Anjali, did phenomenal job. So we did aptamer selection using a talon bead. So this talon bead is similar to the nickel NTA bead. Only difference is, instead of nickel it has the cobalt resin. So the single stranded random DNA library and the G-Cordoplex bias library was first passed through the talon beads to remove the bead binders. And then we incubated this library with the spike protein. So we are using the full length protein, which is a trimer, and incubated it with the protein, and the complex which is formed in a tube, we put it on the talon bead, so that protein can adsorb on the bead along with the DNA will also stick. So then we have eluted this DNA and we did the amplification. We did it couple of rounds, and then after a few rounds of selects, we did ELISA. We called it ELISA. So it is, in principle, it is similar to the antibody-based ELISA. The only difference is that we are using aptamer. So first antigen is coated on the plate, and then we did blocking with the BSA. Then we have biotinylated aptamer against the protein, and this biotinylated aptamer will bind to the spike antigen, and then we'll probe this biotin with the streptavidin conjugated HRP. So when you add the substrate of HRP, or horse radish peroxidase enzyme, you will see the color change. So after 6 round of selection, we did see binding, and it, surprisingly, there was kind of saturation from round one onwards. So we thought, what is the reason? Are the round one population is equally specific as that of R6? So we did the selectivity or specificity check with a similar spike protein from other virus, that is MERS coronavirus. So you can see here that there is, although the round one and round six population both can discriminate between the MERS and the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, but interestingly, there was not significant difference in terms of binding between the round one population and the R6, or the round six population, possibly because the large size of the protein, it is attracting many aptamers, so because it is presenting many epitope or aptotope. But since we did the 6 rounds, and we have increased the stringency of selection over the from round 1 to 6, so we did clone this population and send it for the Sanger sequencing. And after that, we picked few monoclonal aptamers and we did truncate them. So the parent means the full length aptamer having the primer binding domain, and truncated is the one where primer binding domain was chopped off. So interestingly, in majority of the case, the aptamer, the binding of parent and truncated aptamer were comparable. So this is possibly because the central core of the aptamer library is actually contributing to the binding, while the flanking region is playing the minimal role. So then we picked three aptamers and tested their selectivity against various antigens. So we have included SARS-CoV-2 RBD protein, which is again the part of this spike full length trimer protein, and the MERS full length spike, HIV-E envelope protein, monomer and trimer form, and influenza hemagglutinin protein in monomer and trimer form, which is kind of a spike protein. And we also included HSA. So all three aptamers that we have selected were kind of selective for the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, and it also indicates that aptamer is binding to the region on the spike protein other than receptor binding domain. So then we determine its limit of detection, and we found that this aptamer can detect as low as 2 nanogram of 2 nanomolar of antigen. Then we have evaluated the diagnostic potential to in order to see it. What we did, we have taken the RT-PCR negative cases, which are confirmed negative cases, and we have spiked the known concentration of spike antigen into it, and we found that aptamer S1 and S14 are pretty good in discriminating between the spiked and unspiked samples. And then we have used the control aptamer. So control aptamer was not able to discriminate it. Then we have determined the KD of the aptamer. So both aptamer S1 and S14 were having KD in the nanomolar range. Then we picked the one aptamer, which is this S14, and we did evaluate it. First, we evaluated its batch to batch variation. So we have tested 7 different of batches of aptamer that we bought from IDT and the Macrogen, and you see that there is negligible difference among 7 different batches. Then finally, we have validated clinically, and we did this study in a blinded manner. So in our institute, we have a bioassay lab where patient sample are coming for the RT-PCR. So they were doing RT-PCR on the same sample, and we were doing the antigen test. And once we have the result, we have decoded the sample, and we have compared the performance of our test with the RT-PCR. And you can see here that there is clear-cut discrimination between the RT-PCR positive and negative sample. So the sensitivity and specificity of this test was greater than 90%. And then we did some structural characterization also, and when we have predicted the structure in silico, we found that it is forming a G quadruplex kind of structure. We validated this structure using the circular dichroism, and we have submitted this manuscript to Molecular Therapy Nucleic Acid. And so reviewer asked us to show the effect of various divalent or monovalent ions in the buffer. So we did that assay also. So there are 8 different buffer you can see. So the magnesium and potassium is contributing to the stability of the structure. You can see the higher CD signature where the potassium and the magnesium is present. And then we did the CD spectrum by varying the ratio of the spike protein, and you can see here there is like little bit structural change in response to the increasing concentration of the spike protein. So our collaborator has expertise in the molecular docking. He has predicted its structure as a parallel G quadruplex, you can see here. And then he did some molecular docking also and identified certain residue that is actually binding to the spike protein. So these are the different residue. So the G32 of the aptamer is binding to the proline 463 of the protein on the spike protein, and the thymine 1 is interacting with the proline and aspartate, and this thymine 16 is interacting with the aspargine, and guanine 27 is interacting with the threonine. So based on this structural information, we did certain mutations, and we found that one mutant, the M3 mutant, is actually is affecting the binding. So in this mutant, what we did, we have disrupted the G quadruplex structure, and you can see on disrupting the G quadruplex structure, the binding is reduced. And when we have mutated it and tested on the CD, you can see the shift in the CD signature also in case of the mutant. So their G quadruplex structure is kind of disrupted. So this is the overall conclusion and the future direction. So we have generated aptamers against the full-length spike protein of SARS-CoV-2, and aptamer were characterized for the binding, selectivity, affinity, and structure activity relationship. And we also predicted its structure as a parallel G quadruplex. And finally, we have demonstrated its clinical utility in the nasopharyngeal swab specimen, which were around 200 plus sample. And this technology we have recently transferred to Mall Biodiagnostic, which is a big diagnostic company in the India, and they already have couple of product up and running in the market. And now we are aiming to see the diagnostic utility of this assay in the saliva and the other sample type. So finally, I would like to acknowledge my team member, those Ankit and Anjali uh, are the major contributor for this work, and I would like to acknowledge the effort and the input given by our collaborator directly or indirectly. And our laboratory is largely funded by Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, India, and this work was also supported by DBT. And in addition to this, my lab is also supported by Gates Foundation funding and the BIREC. So thank you all for your valuable time, and and I'm happy to take questions.